All right. Recitation, Chapter 12, Economics 1001. I should have said that the other way around, but you got the point. We're back again at it. I've posted the quiz online. We're going to go through this segment, which is really tax policy. And it's very, very relevant to your existence because the difference between a marginal tax rate and an average tax rate is not obvious. And when you hear the public discourse by politicians, especially in an election year like this, when they're talking about tax rates, you really have to make sure you understand what is the marginal tax rate on $250,000 and up, which will be the controversy, versus the average tax rate on someone making $250,000. So this exercise is really going to help us learn this and solidify these concepts, I think, more effectively, so that you understand the conversation, or better understand the conversation than most politicians, and certainly most of the electorate. So, and besides the fact you pay taxes, so it's important to understand what's going on there as well. All right, so the first one is based on this table here, and so we have tax. This is your income from $0 to $10,000. That'll get taxed at a 10% rate. If you make $10,000 to $30,000, that portion of income gets taxed at a 25% rate, et cetera, et cetera. All right? So, without giving the answer away, let's go right to it. It says, number one, for this tax schedule, what is the marginal tax rate for an individual with taxable income of $49,000? Now, they want to know the marginal tax rate. And we went in class and we talked about it, that the marginal tax rate is the change in taxes over the change in income. So in this case, what we're saying, someone makes $49,000, they fall into this bracket right here, okay? So if they make $49,000, the tax rate on that proportion, that marginal tax rate between $30,000 and $49,000 is going to be 35%. All right? Now, again, it may not click yet. So if we're just going to keep plowing through these questions, and eventually when we have to calculate the average and marginal tax rates, you'll, I think, be clear about what we're doing here. So let's go to the next one. It says, for this tax schedule, what is the marginal tax rate for an individual with $212,000 in income? So again, you go to the bracket that has this person's income. In this case, it's over $180,000. Person's making $212,000. And the marginal tax rate on income above $180,000 is 45%. Right? Not 45% on all $210,000. It's only 45% on the portion of income that exceeds $180,000. That's the marginal tax rate. Right? Now, so the answer to the first one is D, 35, and the answer to the second one is also D, 45%. As it is right here, okay? So now I've got the first two down, and now we can go to the third question, which is a little more interesting. For this tax schedule, what is the average tax rate for an individual with $49,000 in income? So the person makes $49,000. The question is, what are they going to pay in total taxes? Then divide total taxes by their income, and that's their average tax rate, okay? So the average tax rate, now I'll put it over here. I'll put it right here as a definition, right? So average tax rate is equal to taxes divided by income. Right? So I'm just going to take the tax rate is how much you pay in taxes divided by how much you earn in income. So now, let's go through. We have to compute first what this person is going to pay in taxes. So again, the person is making $49,000. On the first $10,000, the person gets taxed at 10%. Okay? So now we have 0.10 times the first $10,000, and that's obviously going to be $1,000, okay? So on the first $1,000 the person earns, they're going to pay 10% or $1,000 in taxes. Now, on the next $20,000, from income of $10,000 to $30,000, this person has a tax rate of 25%. So now, 0.25 times 20,000, all right? And that's a quarter of that, so that's going to be $5,000 in taxes, okay? So the person pays 10% on the first 10,000, 25% on the next 20,000, but the person made $49,000, all right? So since 49,000 falls within this bracket right here, and the marginal tax rate on this bracket is 35%, then the person's going to pay 0.35 times what? Well, 49 minus the bottom part of the bracket is 30,000, so that's 49 minus 30 is 19,000. So it's going to pay 35% on $19,000, and I nicely wrote that out as 6650. Okay, so now we know the total amount of tax paid by this person. The total taxes is this sum right here, okay? So it's going to be $12,650. That is the total tax. All right, so this person paid $12,650 in taxes on an income of $49,000. Therefore, to get the average tax rate, we take taxes divided by income. So the taxes are $12,650 divided by the person's income, which is $49,000. And that's going to give us an average tax rate of 0.25. I've done the numbers here, 258. Okay? 258, which is equal to 25.8%. Okay? So this was actually a very useful way to go through this. And there's your answer. Your answer is obviously A, given what I've done. But make sure you see how I got it, right? Just to review. You're making $49,000 in income. The first $10,000 you paid 10%. 10% of that first $10,000 is $1,000. The next part of your income, from $10,000 to $30,000, you pay 25%. 0.25 times the $20,000, the extra income you make there, you pay $5,000 in taxes for that portion. The last portion of your income, which is the difference between $30,000 and $49,000, or $19,000 extra dollars, you have a marginal tax rate of 35%, so it's 0.35 times 19,000, or 6,650. Add that up, that gives you a total of $12,650 paid in total taxes. So now your average tax rate is taxes divided by income, 12,650 divided by 49,000. This is your average tax rate. It is much smaller than the marginal tax rate, okay? So when Obama says, for example, he wants to raise taxes on those making $250,000 or more, it's a marginal tax rate. It means on any income above $250,000, they would pay, let's say, 35 or 39%, whichever the marginal tax rate is going to be. Not on all their income, but just on that portion above the $250,000. Below that, they're going to pay whatever the schedule is, but that's not going to be changed, right? So it's a very important distinction to make, and it's going to be important in the argument as we see this fall during the election.